to start.
Really nice.
Isn't it?
I've never been back this way.
Well, welcome to What's New.
Hi.
Yes, welcome.
What are we all
Yeah.
doing today?
Tonight we have Carrie Knoll,
Hello.
Jean Reesover, and Juanita Wyman. And they're going to talk about the Jurdafet and also about the art clubs, art, not club, the art guild.
The Art Guild.
Really
Quilt
special
show.
event that we think goes really well for sure.
I'm excited.
So anyway,
So how many quilts?
we're going, Juanita and Jean will tell everybody about
I'm
it.
excited.
Yeah, we are on the air already.
We are live.
Yeah, we're live right
Oh, we're
now.
live already.
That's why I said welcome to St. What's New when you walked in.
Okay.
Okay, so whichever one wants to go first, can
Go
do
ahead.
it.
Well, let's wait till Juanita gets here. So Carrie,
Okay.
why don't you start?
Well, it's of course the annual Jurdafet. It's our 55th year. Same time frame. We're going to do 10 to 6 on Saturday, and on Sunday, 9 to 4. We're going to have bounce houses for the kids. A new thing we're adding this year is the PG trailer, Procter and Gamble trailer. Super excited about that. They're going to be giving free packets away with people with babies, and they're going to do a breastfeeding and diaper changing station, and all sanitary and really nice. So that's a really nice
Is
thing.
that going to be down at the
Where's that?
Moses Austin. Moses Austin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
And the
and
bounce
and the
house will
grounds-
be down there also.
Yes, yeah. So I
Now,
think
is
that's a new
that, before you even get started, are there going to be rental trailers down there? Or is the grounds going to be full of stuff?
We have 120 vendors, so we are pretty full.
Okay.
But we're leaving that back part of the lot where people, if they want to camp.
Okay,
And we have 5 people right now
because I
camping.
think that's really neat.
Yeah, we have 5 people currently camping.
Right.
So-
And how far up both streets are you coming?
We are currently all the way up to the Presbyterian, Lutheran Church. We're all the way there, and then they have their cooling station and their
Right.
bake sale. And then we're all the way up to the Zell JC's. I guess I still call it Bill Talapic's
Oh, okay.
building.
Okay.
I'm not for sure what it is now, but I still call it Bill Talapic's.
It is, yeah.
But honestly, the JC's and then Brick's Winery, those girls are amazing. They're doing yoga at 7:30 in the morning. So we got yoga going on, ladies. Come on, we can do yoga. And they have 3 or 4 vendors that are in their shop. They're coming out.
Right.
And then Cindy with Rolling on the River.
Oh,
She has
okay.
3 or 4 of her vendors, so we're almost all the way up to
Okay,
Common
so
Grounds.
they're gonna have
Oh,
tents
really?
out in the street.
Yeah, so we
So
really,
our sign will go right there at the.
yep, it'll be right
Good.
there.
That's
and then it'll be
great.
all
And there's
visual.
going to be stuff on North Main
Yes.
Street
Yes.
as well.
Now
A
we-
lot of the businesses in the art community that's there are going
Excited.
to be doing special stuff.
Now, can we bring those signs down like
Friday
Friday when you set up and
After
leave them there?
So yes, I'm starting
Good.
setting up for the vendors from 2 p.m. on,
Oh, okay.
and I'll be at the Union Hall. I don't know
Right.
which, the Lime Kiln Union Hall. I'll be there. So if you have any questions, come. But you can set the signs up from 2 p.m. on.
So it would be from the Common Grounds at that corner?
Yes,
And
then one on
and down the street further on the other one?
other side.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know I talked to Magnolias. They're bringing their stuff out, and I'm super excited about that too. So
So because it's coming to Common Ground, that will bring people up to that area, so that's. gonna be
Yes,
awesome.
that's
Oh
good.
yeah, so
I'm
like
glad they're
with the
setting
shops
up
and
there.
getting the vendors from their shop coming
Yeah.
out, that whole street's gonna look full.
That's gonna
That'll
be
be
great.
good.
Yeah.
Now, we won't have to carry those things so far.
No.
No, I think it's gonna be great. I think it's definitely gonna push, and I think Valley's still doing the parking,
Right.
so you'll have
Oh.
people coming straight from there, so that'll be good too.
Yeah, that's great.
So
So you have a lot of new vendors this year?
it's a wide variety.
variety,
I feel
yeah,
like
okay.
like we always have the chainsaw guy,
Yeah.
our blacksmith. They're
Good.
coming back. Then we have like Thompson Soups, Crow's Candles. I feel like those. But then we have newbies that are
Well, good.
local from St. Genevieve. Some are painting, some are
Yeah.
making wreaths. So I love that there's a wide variety of local. And
that's good.
I talked to somebody this morning. They're coming from Chicago. I have one from Florida, one from Texas.
Wow,
great.
Yes.
Oh, my
So
God.
it really brings in a lot of people and talking to different. Like I love that all the hotels are full.
That's
I'm
great.
loving
good.
that. I love the
Yeah.
revenue it's bringing for the town, and like I sent out a blast to all my vendors this morning. Hey, here are 3 good places, and there's a brand new place to get coffee. and I just kind of fill them in of all their menus and let them know that they can all stay local for, so.
Great.
Right,
Yeah.
well, we
Good
got
for you,
plenty of-
Carrie.
we
Good
got
for you,
plenty of
Carrie.
food.
Yes.
Are the restaurants open down on North Main Street? What are, you got
Yes.
two new,
Yes.
Oliver's and
Oliver's
will
Rooted.
be open,
Rooted-
and Rooted Coffee.
Rooted Coffee's
Uh,
seven.
It's their first weekend to
Oh,
be
yeah.
open.
I'm super excited for
Well,
them.
good for them,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
And
And
then
then we-
they're the stores that are down there, and
And
I
they're
don't
bringing
know if
stuff
there are
out.
any vendors who are going to be in our
We
area.
have them till the, I used to know it as the old car wash, but that park, that pretty park.
Yes.
We have vendors all there, and then we stop to be courteous because all the shops bring stuff out. So we don't venture farther down because all the shops bring out their art and stuff. Because Sam tells me she has all kinds of stuff, and
She
I
does.
She
love
usually
that.
does,
She's
yeah.
good,
Yes, I was like, I
She's-
love that she has all this stuff,
Yes.
so, I can't wait to see what she brings. But then, like, we have some of our, food vendors are new, we have Mama's Sugar Shack, so that'll be an interesting one.
What is that?
She does variety, cookies,
Oh, okay.
cupcakes, like any kind of sweets. Another local person that we got is Charlottesville. Charlottesville's gonna be bringing their
Good.
craft beer,
Oh, well,
and,
good.
the Beige Goat Farm
Oh,
is gonna be
okay.
bringing their cheese.
Oh, that's
So
good.
I love that that's some other
It's
local
nice
people
to get the
together.
Bring
local
any of
stuff
their
out.
baby
Right.
goats.
No, I wish. I wish they would. I wish they would. So that's to me
Oh,
is fun.
that's-
And then another local guy we got is the trolley to drive
Yeah.
back and forth.
That's good.
So we love that everything's staying so local.
So what time do you open on Saturday and Sunday?
Saturday we open at 10,
10,
and we
okay.
do the opening ceremony at the Welcome Center.
Welcome Center, yeah. okay.
And that's when the German band will play. We'll honor the families,
Yeah.
and we'll do, the militia will do a demonstration.
And then what time, do you close down at any time in the evening?
6 p.m.
6 PM?
But ZLJC's, if you want to go rocking, they got a band till 10. So
Okay,
if
well,
you
there
want to
you
go
go.
rocking it,
I know Jean
We
said,
did
well, why
that
don't we
one
stay
time.
open? And I said, well, let's just see how the day goes. I don't know if I can go that long.
they're partying. You never know.
Where's that band at, or where was that?
Old Bill
By Bill
Tilapix.
Tilapix.
Oh, that's
In
where
his
that.
backyard.
Okay,
That's, yeah,
in the
they're
backyard.
doing food all day, but then from 6 to 10, they're having a live band.
Okay.
Yeah,
That was
Since-
neat last
And
year.
then Sunday you close it down at
4.
4. Okay.
Yeah. And in case anybody is telling anybody from this, the ferry is closed.
I saw
We
that
want to make
today.
sure people traveling know they need to either use Chester, Cape, or St. Louis bridges, that the ferry is
Yeah.
closed. So spread that word.
Okay.
Because we have a lot of people that use it.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
So, but yeah.
So I know we're really, you know, when we were able to get the DeBerg Center, you know, it's kind of like, okay, is this good or is this not good, you know?
Oh, it's awesome.
But I think it's going to be good. I really, really do. And I think it'll be good. One reason for you all is bringing a different group of people into town and from town. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's kind of what I'm thinking maybe because of the people that are showing. We have about 133 quilts. But that is not that many people, but we still, I bet we have a good 60 anyway, with different people that are showing their quilts. It could be, yeah, about probably that.
And you might mention too that there's gonna be several for sale
Oh, yeah.
from the
Oh,
parish.
So,
Okay.
you know, that's,
And
you know,
other people.
well, that is the thing. So we've got a large group of county people, county women, and it's gonna be quilts that are we have a few old ones that are going back to the 1800s. One interesting one is the Del Commune and DuPont family. We have a couple of their quilts. I really am not that familiar with the family, but we got 2 of the quilts that they found. It's a long story that is told. A lot of these stories we will have told as well. And then we come up to the present where we've got a 16-year-old gal. It's Adriana Bennett. I'm going to mention her name. It's Eric Bennett's daughter. She's 16 and she's quilting.
Cool.
I was, you know,
I
I
love
kind
it.
of fell into that, and I went, oh my gosh, you told me. No, it wasn't you. Was it you that told me about it?
I don't think so.
I don't remember, but in any case, so we've got a real broad range, not to mention, I mean, and then
Abby Stolzen.
the art center.
So when I put it on Facebook,
Yeah.
one of the questions I got that I wanted to have answered tonight is, will there be someone demonstrating? Will there be anyone
Yes.
demonstrating? That's what they
Yes.
were wondering.
Betty Joggers
Okay,
is going to be
perfect.
demonstrating, yes.
Perfect.
There's going to be a lot to see.
Well,
The-
that's what I was
The
saying.
wonderful quilts, of course, and Juanita's done an incredible job of looking at the history of quilting and fiber
Trying
art.
to do that, trying to give
Yes,
little
you did.
tidbits of information
Yes.
as
And-
they move around.
So that's going to be available at the DeBurg. And then, of course, across the street, our contemporary group of art guild members are showing work. And some of it is very contemporary, and some
Very.
of it is more traditional.
Yeah.
Super
Um,
excited about that too.
And of course, all of this is free. You know, someone asked me the other day, what's the charge to get into the quilt show? And it's like, there isn't any
No.
charge to get into the quilt show or into the exhibit.
Now, to answer Iris's question, yes, we have about 40 quilts, maybe, no, I think about 60 quilts for sale.
Wow.
About 60. We have some from the St. Genevieve Parish, we have some from Zell, we have a couple from Lawrencetown, but then we have a lot of individual women that are selling either quilts they've just made, and a few of them are selling older quilts.
Now, will that be a donation then to the arts, or will it go back to the parish, or how will?
It's kind of a combination.
Okay.
We have an arrangement with the church,
Perfect.
and so, and then some of the others, it's like the art center, there's always a commission,
Perfect.
you know, but, so, and it's not that much, but it's what we do over at the art center as well.
One of the ways this is being funded, of course, is we may be able to use some of the money from the commissions for it, but we also have received support from the St. Genevieve County Community Foundation. They have been very supportive of some of our activities, and we always like to mention that fact because it's a really terrific resource for the community.
Yeah, the Art Guild is primarily financing, except for the foundation, and then what we're hoping some quilts will sell, but not just because we get a commission, but that will help.
That's
But you know, that
awesome.
is
Yeah,
also
help
going to
those.
go towards funding this too, because
Yeah,
we
that's what I'm
are
Yeah.
taking care, it's coming out of the Art Guild, it's
Yeah.
one of our major events.
I think that's wonderful.
And we have talked about, well, the three of us have talked about doing this quilt show for some time, over the years. But we've just never had a facility, or I don't know what it was, but
All of a sudden, we said,
All of
let's
us-
just do it,
ev-
and happily, the
and it-
DeBurg was open.
Everything has come
it
together.
has, and I
great.
think, and I was so pleased to have a really great committee, and I wanted to do it. For me, it's kind of a tribute to all the quilters in our community, but my mother was a big quilter, as were many, many people of her generation. And then there's ours, and they're still quilting, you know, the quilts are handed down.
And Juanita herself is a quilter.
And I have quilted, not as
Yes.
much as I used to, but I have done that.
And I will say that
And
I
ours too.
am not. I'm allergic to needle and thread. The thing that interests
That must
me
be my
about
reason.
this is these are quilts that were made by the women of this
Yes.
county. And the fact that there are women who are still quilting ties them back to the history of all the women who ever lived in this county and who made beautiful things for their families. And that kind of thread, literally, that goes through our history, I think is so important to recognize. And I'm just thrilled that this is coming out the way it is, because I think it's a tribute to artistry,
Yeah.
and it's a tribute to female artistry, because
really
virtually
is.
all the quilts are done by
You know,
women.
maybe way back in time, quilts were done for utilitarian purposes,
Yes.
to keep warm.
Right.
I read one quote where she said she couldn't keep up quilting, but, you know, to keep her children and family warm. And so when that occurred, you know, back in the 1700s or before, but little by little as we move forward, nice fabric became available. Feed sacks for the average purse family, there were nicer fabrics out there, but for the average family, they couldn't afford that. So the feed companies started making printed and more vibrant type colors on their feed sacks. And so then the women started putting a little more effort into design and trying to make a beautiful quilt.
Their
So
pattern.
they were
And
our
the
very
sewing
first
machine,
artists.
the
And the
invention
sewing
of the
machine.
sewing machine
The
was an
sewing
important
machine was
factor.
very, very critical, and that helped it go a lot faster. But they were our first artists. If you think about that, I mean, there were other artists who painted or whatever, but you know, you're really looking at the quilts and these designs and the way they were put together. And we have seen some in the county now, some that are coming in, and oh my gosh.
It was the whole community of women in the county who were participating in an artistic endeavor, which I think is really exciting in and of itself. But in addition to that, it was also one of the ways they socialized.
Oh, yeah.
Through
Yes.
the quilting.
I think we can all,
and
That's
yes.
Yes,
main
I
thing.
still
Yes.
love
That's the
that
main
there's a
thing.
group at the hospital that
Yes.
still hand quilts.
Yeah.
And I
Yes.
love walking in there and saying hi to them
Yeah.
all because they're all, it's just a neat
well,
thing
you know,
to
I
see.
think,
We're blessed with a lot of quilters.
Yes.
Even the younger ones are starting
you know,
to take
these,
it up. Yeah.
we can probably all talk, maybe not Jean, but I know Iris and I have talked about this, where I can remember as a child growing up in St. John, and my mother and some of her lady friends would go to each other's houses and they would put in a quilt, you know?
Yes.
And that was a time to socialize it. They talked about
Yes.
stuff going on in the
Yes.
community and what they were cooking
And my
you
guess
know,
is,
stuff like
my
that.
guess is that
My
a
mother
lot
did
of
that.
important decisions
That is
about St. Genevieve County happened at those meetings when those women went home and told their husbands what they felt like needed
Right.
to happen.
Right.
You know, and I'm sure they're still getting together. I know at the church,
Yeah.
and I know they do out at Zell as well as
And the
out at the hospital.
hospital,
So they're still
yeah.
doing that.
And Bloomsdale has started a
Bloomsdale,
bunch of
too.
them together
And
now.
when we started this, we wondered if this evolution had kind of stopped, you know, or maybe the younger generation was not carrying it on. But I think we're finding that
There's
there
a lot
are
of
those
them.
out there that are doing
Our
that.
family still does it. We get together and do it when there's a new baby in the
Oh,
family.
that's
And
right.
then we do it when there's a marriage. So then you get one when you get married,
So
and then
you
you get
quilt?
one.
Do
I
you
do.
really?
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yes,
I
my
never
grandma
could.
taught me that.
Well, you should be with us then.
Right.
I'm a little busy with Joe Fett, all right?
You know, that is the thing, and there are so many other women out there, and I even had someone come in last night, had heard us on the radio, and he said, it was such a very nice gentleman, and it was, he had some quilts in the family, and he heard us on the radio, and can he still get it in? Well, I'm out of standards. There's just, they're full, and I had to say, I'm so sorry. But
But this might be a tradition. You might do it next year
well,
too. You never know.
maybe every
We'll
other
see.
year.
Yeah.
We'll just see how it goes, right, ladies?
You know,
Yeah.
once you,
See how much Juanita and Carolyn want to do this
Right.
next time.
you know,
yeah.
really, once I have people from, I want to mention this too. I think the quilting people, I think it's a community and they're there to help each other. And so we were able to borrow standards from the Presbyterian Church and the Lutheran Church in Farmington. And so, I mean, very, very, very appreciative. I'm not sure what we would have done if we hadn't have gotten these. It would have cost quite a bit.
For those people who are watching
Mhm.
and who don't know anything about this, maybe you ought to explain what a standard is
Yes,
aside
that's
from
Well, a standard,
level of
it's
something.
basically what you're gonna hang the quilt on, okay? And it's nice if you can show the full quilt, which is, in many cases, is over 8 foot.
Yes.
And so you need something very tall, if you can find it, to do that. And so to build that, it's not all that difficult, but it'd be expensive, because you just need 2 poles, basically, and a pole that goes across the top. But then you've got to attach it with something. And so we were able to borrow some clips from the University, Southeast Missouri State. They've given us some clamps. So there's things that you need to use to clamp these
Yes.
quilts. And you have to be ever so careful, you know. And I've never hung a show, but I have talked to people now that have. And so the standards from the Presbyterian Church, they had them made. They're 8 by 8 foot, and they don't come apart. So that was a challenge to get them here. And then the other church, they have all their poles, again, about 8 foot by 8 foot. And we put those together then. So that's what a standard is.
So if you got
a way-
any spare people,
Yeah.
send them our way. on
It's
Right?
it's a way
Thursday
to,
evening.
to show the quilts. And if you can show a full quilt, that's ideally what you want to do. Now, there may be a few that are not shown as far as a full quilt. You know, if it's a repeat pattern, you don't necessarily have to show the full.
Then did you get a bunch of quilt racks, or how? Or
No,
How are you able
it's
to do
just
it all?
with all these standards, we have a total of 60 standards, I think. And the Art Guild has some display units, so we're able to use those. So, and you can work on both sides of them. So I think we're getting roughly around 60-something standards, so that's 120 quilts roughly. And then the Art Guild has some, so we've managed, I hope it all matches.
I think it'll turn out
I think
wonderful.
so too.
I think it'll be
Because, you know,
great, yeah.
it's interesting too, I have connected with so many women in St. Genevieve that I think I know, but I don't know. I say that because I only moved back home in '07. So people have changed and I've changed. So I get phone calls from a lot of local names, and I think I know these people, you know, but it's been really fun to really talk to these people, and so I'm anxious to meet some of them that I've talked to, but a lot of them still remember my mother, you know, that's kind of nice. They know my sisters. So it's been enjoyable. It's been word of mouth, and I have to say ours, luckily, and you know the people in town too, but ours really knows a lot of the people
But
that
there's
we
a lot I don't know now, so many new ones.
But you know, people, because you know, we don't have a controlled group like we do in a church. We just had to rely on calling people, word of mouth, in the paper,
And
on Facebook.
One of the really
People and
interesting,
saying,
yeah,
do you quilt? Yeah, would you like to do
one of
something?
the interesting things, I think, is I was talking about the connectedness, the social connection. And we're seeing that,
Yeah.
I think, as word of this got around and women started calling and saying, gee, I have a quilt,
Yeah.
or Juanita found them. And that it really has been an exciting thing in terms of
And
sort of building a new social network around this very old tradition.
I know there could have
Yeah.
been more. I mean, look at yourself.
Yes.
I mean, seriously, there are a lot more that I really wish we could have gotten, because I had lots of good recommendations from people, but some of them just
Yeah.
said, no, not now, and whatever.
So like
the
I
case
said, if
may
you
be.
do it again,
And you
you
know,
can do another set, you know.
chances are, as we move forward, and once we've done one, it really does make it easier as far as what we're doing. But again, it is an expensive thing too. It depends upon if we can get the facility again.
Exactly.
And
Yeah, we were very
We were very
fortunate to
Yeah,
get
because
that
you're right there, and
space.
like I said, we have so many vendors and so many shops putting up, they're almost right to your,
they are, so we were lucky this year that it was available. We were able to make a nice agreement, and so that worked nicely. Now, will that happen in the future? I don't know. And like I said, I think your people, it's kind of a different group of people, but not really either. They come looking for some of this kind of stuff, you know.
oh, they do, yes.
So I don't know. And, you know, it's nice to get locals getting out for Jour de Fête, and a lot of times Jour de Fête is out-of-towners, you know, not entirely, but maybe people will wander that way too, hopefully,
Well,
you know?
I keep telling people, I keep advertising it this way, come down to Jour de Fête, look at the quilt show, and send your men to the car show.
Well, that's right.
That's what I keep saying, I'm like,
Yes.
send them to the car show on Sunday, but we're also having like a convertible club and a tractor, club, the Lost Acres Tractor Club. They're showing down in the Moses Austin as well. So
Is that
send
on
them
Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday is convertible
Good.
and Corvette and tractor.
Are they doing that in the Hoffman?
Hoffman's house, yeah.
That's very kind of them to
Yes.
don't let them use that yard,
Yes.
because it's so pretty.
It was beautiful, all the trees.
Yeah.
And then on Sunday is the Casey Hall chicken dinner
That's right.
and the car cruise. So send them in both ways and you come on in, right?
There you
Yeah.
go.
And will the antique mall be open now too?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
They're-
yeah.
I talked to Miss Patty today, they're gonna do 10 to 5 both days. Yeah.
So, you know, that's something, you know, it's hard to say. I think people will venture into these different venues, hopefully.
So, I think so.
And the
I
weather's
hope so.
supposed to be nice.
Now, that'll be a
Yes.
plus, won't it?
Right, yes.
It won't be steamy like
first
we've seen
year.
it.
Right.
I know,
Right.
it's the first year, I don't know how long that it hasn't been
A
in the
long
hundreds
time.
or
Oh, I
raining,
know it.
so
Yeah.
we'll take it,
Oh, my gosh.
So, there's gonna be a bunch of smaller 12 by 12s into a,
You talking about?
well, what Carolyn home
Oh,
today.
you know, and we haven't said much about the Art Center, because
Yes.
the Art Guild is sponsoring this. And what it is the evolution of quilting from early time period to the present day. And so last night, we had two print fiber artists from Southeast Missouri State University. They gave us a lecture and they talked about their contemporary fiber. So that started, and now in the Art Center, many of the Art Guild members have done some, what I call contemporary fibers. They're abstract, I guess is the best way to put it, that you will see at the Art Center, along with other paintings. We've got our regular paintings and pottery and wood sculpture and all that kind of stuff. But there are some really nice, small, 12 by 12?
12 by 12
And
around
I
that.
think they're for sale too.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think the display that was
And-
brought up for the lecture last
is up.
evening is going to remain.
It's going to be there
during-
through the end of
Yeah.
August.
Yes.
So that those 12 by 12s are hung like a quilt.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we do have two full-size quilts hanging and a few other things
Yeah.
by some of our guild members. So, I mean, if you come into one, you need to come into both of them, you know,
Yeah.
because
And they're right across the
they're
street.
right
Right
across
across
the
the
street.
street, right.
So, and just gives some people a chance to see our new art center too.
Yeah,
You
'cause
know,
I don't know
'cause
how many people
Probably,
realize
you know,
that.
little by little, our workshops have brought in quite a few people, and they're
Yes.
always just pleasantly surprised
Good.
when they walk in and see it. I mean, really, it's really nice and bright and very
It's good.
nice. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be really good.
I do. I think
And,
it's
you know,
gonna be
I don't know if I told you or ours, but I have gotten several thank you notes from some of the local women. Thank you, for doing this, or for the guild for doing this, not just me. Because I've got these two are on the committee, Kevin McPhail. We do have a guy on the committee. He really wanted to do this.
Yes, he
Betty
did.
Joggers and Peggy Bay. Did I forget anybody?
And Joyce White.
Oh, Joyce White, yes. Joyce White, she's not in the guild, but she's a
consultant.
fantastic, she's a
There you
consultant,
go.
yeah.
I like that.
Yes.
Her quilting
Her
is
quilts are just,
valued at lots and lots of
they're,
money.
yeah. Quilting has changed a lot. It's art, just like
It's
our
art.
paintings.
It is art.
Yes.
It really is anymore. And I know some of these, like Joyce's and others, I mean,
And there's a famous, internationally known quilt artist who came from here.
oh, you're talking about Zarnelli, Lisa
Yes,
Zarnelli.
Lisa
Oh,
Zarnelli.
Zarnelli,
Yeah,
Yes.
everybody knows
And,
her, I think. yeah.
I don't know if everybody knows her, but everybody knew
No,
Wilma
Right,
Zarnelli.
and her husband told me that,
Yes.
the bakery.
Yeah.
And the Lisa has made an international reputation
has.
with her quilts.
And
It wouldn't surprise me if she learned the beginnings of
Oh,
it
I no doubt.
right here in St. Genevieve.
Oh,
No
yeah.
doubt
Oh,
about
yeah.
it. She and her husband ended up in Japan, I believe, and she learned to dye her fabrics. And the Japanese are excellent quilters, I understand. But in any case, I called her, tried to get her down to do this, but they now live in Colorado, and since her mother is not here anymore, she said they get home, but they visit her. You know what I mean?
Right.
And, but she has said, maybe within the next year or two, she'd like to come down, have a show, and a workshop, she said. Now,
That would be
I'm gonna try to hold her to that.
Yes, that would be nice.
But you are right, she has her quilt, she doesn't do the quilt so much anymore, but she's doing the contemporary fibers and doing more wall hanging. So she's doing exactly what we said, we're doing the evolution
Oh, yeah.
of quilting,
Yes.
and she's a perfect example of
Yeah,
someone who's done
She
that.
is.
So, yeah, it's been kind of a fun endeavor, hasn't it? It really
It
has turned
has
out
been.
fine.
And I think it's one of the biggest projects that the Guild has undertaken,
I
at
think
least in
probably.
recent
Probably
years.
is, yeah.
And,
believe that.
Now, when we
and-
did it, like Thomas Hart Benton or something like that, we had a few
The promenade.
promenades over the
Yes,
years, but that has
yes.
been years, I bet.
yeah, this is
The
years.
probably the
been a
biggest
more
one of those
complex
was when we
kind
had the
of
big tent
project, I think.
down in,
And it touches upon so many different things that the Guild's interested in. Artistry, making things with your hands, the whole notion of understanding design and color and how those things come together, and the history that goes along with all of
Yeah.
that, and who the individual participants in that kind of activity are, and I think it's been a very good project for the Guild.
It has, and one thing people can also find, we're gonna have labels, and quilts tell stories. They tell stories in their fabric, it tells, as you hand it down in your family, and so a lot of the people described their quilt. Maybe they just described it, but some of us talked about why we did what we did, you know? And like you said, it can be, you do it when you have birth, when you have a wedding or whatever. So there are stories to be told in that. I had one lady tell me, they're not showing, she's not showing, but her quilt was started when she was a baby, and it was given to her at her wedding. It was that double wedding ring. So there are stories out there like that. So they can read some of that, which is what I think will be kind of interesting. If they'll, not that it's long reading, but each quilt will have something.
And it's our stories,
Yeah.
because it's the women from this community.
Right. I have a friend that does this, and, excuse me, she takes, like, shirts or all that kind of stuff from somebody that's either passed or whatever. She made one, I have a grandson, when he graduated, I took all my grandma T-shirts, you know, said, you know,
My mother has done
you know,
several
with
of
that
those,
and his number on it, and had a quilt made for him. And she does that, and she does it all the time. And she takes shirts from, like, well, I'll have to say McDonald's, like girls that work at McDonald's. They don't have to just be there, but any place, well, we get all kinds of shirts. She just took them, and the more shirts you have, the bigger the quilt can be. So, yeah, it's
We
really
have
neat.
that, and somebody has a bow tie quilt, but it's made from the ties.
Oh,
you know?
yes,
that's
yes.
Actually, the actual ties from the family. But, so now, and as far as the jour de fete now, because I can remember back, you said it's 55 years? Boy, that's
55
telling
years.
my age, too.
And-
First year.
Because I
And-
gave tours back, one of the, it's, what did it start in 63? No, what was-
69.
69.
69. And we've only closed for 2 years,
Yeah.
the flood of 93, and then in
Remember.
2000 because of
I can
COVID.
remember back then. And there, you used to have a lot of what I call utilitarian crafts, you know, a lot of potters, and so I'm wondering if you're getting any of those back yet?
We are getting some of those back. One in front of Bricks, they make the clay earrings.
Oh, good,
She makes
okay.
all of the clay earrings by hand. We have a gentleman and his wife that tans raccoons, like does the tanning, and he'll be demonstrating that, and it's beautiful, just the different
Yeah.
types of lapels and different things he makes.
Yeah, those types of crafts, I think, I always enjoyed
Yes.
those types
I
of
love them
crafts.
demonstrating.
And I like the demonstrating too. Like I said, Betty Joggers is a quilter, and she says she's gonna set up a quilt.
She quilts very fast,
She must.
like a sewing machine.
Oh,
God.
and
When
she
you
says
watch her,
it-
you'll be so amazed.
She goes, and it's so relaxing. Ah.
Not watching her, right?
I always love the pattern and like how they came up with that pattern or how they came up with that design or what made them think this is going to be a double or a log cabin. You know, I love hearing that.
There are
From the
reasons why
quilter.
they do that. I know that, I did an applique, I think I brought it in last month or
Yes,
something.
you did.
But it was one I did for my first granddaughter, and I used, the patterns, I designed the whole quilt, but I used, figures that were in their parents, like stuffed animals. You know, I drew and I appliqued and so forth. So, you know, you plan around something, I think, many of them. Now, I think some of these people now, it's like doing, well, I know like Joyce, some of them just do these different patterns because they're just inspired to do it, or it's something new.
And they're a challenge.
Yeah,
It's
they're
a
It's kind of like a
challenge.
jigsaw puzzle, right?
You know,
Yeah,
that's what my sister,
exactly,
yeah,
yeah.
my sister Joyce, she's continued the quilting. I told her I'm glad. That and fixing liver nifflers.
Yeah.
You know, somebody's got to
That's
do
not
that in the
bad.
family, right?
Yes.
And so I go, oh, Joyce, I'm so glad you're doing that. But she just did something, she likes to challenge herself, and she did what's called a faux applique, where you're actually using colored pencils to create these designs. And so she does different things just to, it looks interesting to her, and she's very talented at doing that. And
There's a great deal of talent in this community. And we think this show is a really good way of showing some of it off.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
I think so, huh? You've got one of your, two of yours in, what, your first one? I've got my first
Oh my
quilt in. I
gosh,
said,
that's my
it's not
first
the
top."
best, but I put it in.
And I thought, back then, I said when I picked it up for my daughter, because I did it for a shower gift for her, I said, oh my God, that's so ugly. And she said, Mom, it's not the 80s anymore.
Oh, my goodness, I love it.
So it's kind of fun to
But
look
I
at.
thought that was funny.
Yes,
That is fun.
or like,
Because it's peach and brown.
right.
You know, remember
Yes.
peach and brown?
was definitely,
Peach
yeah.
and brown. Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah,
Those
during the
colors.
70s, I've got this bright yellow one going.
Yes.
That was it.
But you did faddish colors too.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
You can tell, I knew this was from the 70s without even looking at what I did. I mean, I've even got material for my maternity tops in there, because for my first son, that's when I did it. But it's kind of an ugly yellow, I know what you mean.
Funny.
But
But
they keep us warm, right?
that's
Yes.
correct,
They
and
do.
quilts do tell stories, they're
Yes.
done for a reason, like you
Yes.
said, that's why we do it. And that's what, we're finding in a lot of people. So it should be interesting, hopefully you'll be able to come up and walk through,
That's
because you may
okay.
not be able to. I don't even know if I can walk through down there, because we'll have to pretty much stay there.
Yeah.
Can't have anybody touching those quilts, can we?
Yeah, we gotta really watch that.
And that's, I don't know, that's like one thing I think the next generation might not understand, of preserving it and not touching it. I feel like that will be an education thing too.
Well, I think it is, and more of the quilts I think are preserved today. I have 3 that I can think of from my grandmother that we used them. They're getting pretty ratty looking. I don't use them anymore. But back when we got our quilts, I guess, from our grandparents.
we
or
used them.
We used them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We did use them. But I'm finding now, I don't think that's the case so much anymore. At least these 2 new gals, one of them is Abby Stolzer. Her mother is Toni Vaith, and she's a young gal that is quilting. She loves to do it. And her designs are very different, but I don't know if they're actually going to use the quilts. I'm not sure.
Right.
A lot of quilts are just done to hand down. It's just, yeah, I think that's what it is. Here's this, and then you put it up,
Yeah.
and then you get it out and you appreciate it and go, oh, I remember, I think. I don't know.
So what
Yeah,
you
so
said
Tony-
Abby Stolzer.
Yeah. Abby Stolzer.
Tony
That-
is the grandmother.
That's the grandmother.
Okay.
Yeah.
The grandmother, I'm
Yeah,
sorry, did I say
it's
mother?
Andrea Stolzer's
Andrea
her
is
mom.
the mother.
And I
Yeah.
meant to say grandmother.
Okay, I thought that
Yeah,
when you said that.
I always confuse, my words are
Oh,
always
no,
confused.
mine's, no, I'm the same way.
But you're right, Tony is the grandmother.
Grandmother, yes.
Correct.
And she's a very good quilter too.
Yeah, she's gonna have several. She's gonna put one in that she did when she was 9,
Oh, really?
That's
she
awesome.
said, yeah.
Gosh.
So that'll be interesting to see
I
that.
remember my mother-in-law doing that, she had like the living room and then the dining room. Well, the dining room only had table and chair kind of in there when it was Halloween, when it was Christmas or Thanksgiving. Other than that, it was the dining room, or it was the quilter, or the quilts.
That's how everybody always had quilts up in
Right,
their
yeah,
houses.
right.
The quilt, I know Mom's quilt frame, it filled up our living room.
Mhm.
Oh,
And as
yeah.
kids, we sat under the quilt and
Yes.
watched TV.
Yes,
It
we
was the
played,
tent.
we
That's what we did.
played,
We
yes.
did the
That's
tent.
what my grandkids did.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Had a
My
built-in
kids.
tent.
Yeah, it was.
I guess everybody can tell by the fact that I'm not saying anything, that I'm a city girl. And I had a city family.
Okay. Didn't even have a quilt in your house?
No, but my mother used to sew designer clothes.
Well, there you go.
I
Wow.
did
Well-
not get that gene. I didn't get
And
that.
that's a talent also. I
Oh, yes,
used to
that's
have
a
that
talent.
talent,
Me
but I
too.
lost it.
I used to do, and my mother was incredible, absolutely incredible, a seamstress. So, yeah, that all goes with it. I mean, it's the whole.
It's just a different.
She
it's
never
just
made a
different-
quilt.
But, not everybody does that, no, but,
No.
Right.
and I haven't done that many, probably won't do, I don't know, I have one I gotta do. I was gonna do one for every grandchild, and I have 5. Well, the
I'm
first
not
3, I
doing
did the
more
first
about it.
one.
Yeah.
Second one, I have the
Okay.
pattern sitting there.
Okay.
She's 19. Maybe for a wedding.
I made Cindy's and that was the end of the,
Oh,
the end of it.
cutting all them blocks.
but, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I
still use
admire them
quilts.
because the time you spend bent over, cutting all the, and then on the machine sewing them.
Well, how do you recommend, like washing them?
I don't know that much. I looked it up on the internet the other day, and I think I'm not the one to ask, but you've got to be careful, if at all. And there is some kind of a soap or solution that is out there, but I really don't know.
What I do with
I wash
mine all
mine.
the time is I fill the machine, but my machine won't do this anymore. I fill the machine and I let them soak in the soapy water. And then I drained it, not spinning it, just drain the water out. And then I filled it up again a couple times to get the soap out of them.
I think
I'm
you got to,
over the
I
line.
think Google it and you can probably find
Well,
out.
don't Google it, wait until Jour de Fête
Oh,
weekend
absolutely.
And
and
then ask.
ask some of the women
Well,
who
you
are
know,
going
that
to
is
be
very
there,
true.
who know
And
how
some
to
of
do
them
this.
never wash
wash-
quilts, they
Some of
just
them-
use sheets underneath them.
Yes, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
there was a lot of people that use sheets underneath them, but I remember growing up, some of them would always put them on the line.
Yeah,
Yes.
that too.
I remember that.
I always
I do
hung
that
mine
all
on
the
the
time. You
line,
know-
but I
I do
didn't
that all
wash
the
them very often. But I hung them on the line to dry.
My grandmother had made one
And then the
for me,
birds came along.
Yeah.
which was the older material. And you're supposed to wash the material before, and I don't know if Grandma did or did not, but it turned out pink after I washed it.
The red
It's just a
fabric they
light
had
pink,
back
but
then.
some-
The
Yeah.
red
oh,
fabric
not
back then
good.
with those dyes that
Well,
they
that's the
use.
Yeah,
thing, there must,
they
so I
weren't-
did learn the hard way, but you
The
know,
black and the blue and the red,
yeah,
old fabrics, they faded like crazy.
yeah, you really, I think, have to be careful doing that. And you're right, I think asking somebody this weekend would be a good idea.
Oh, I think
I
there are
think
going
so.
to be people there who would
I think
be
you're
a
seeing many
wonderful
different
educational
generations.
resource.
And I think that'd be great.
I hope
Yeah.
so, and,
Well, we keep advertising it, so.
you know, Betty was telling me, she went out to Perryville. There's a clothing store there, I think, she told me, or there was.
Down in Perryville, yes.
They gave her a whole bunch of 25% off coupons
Right.
for fabric.
That was at Rozier's in Perryville.
Oh.
So, yeah, what, yeah, we've got coupons.
And they moved they remodeled their store, it's wonderful
Oh.
now. They have the quilting all back before you went up the steps for the
That's what Betty
clothing. It's
said.
all right back in there, not up the steps.
Oh, that's
And
nice.
then in the mid here is like gifts and stuff, and up in the front is clothing. They
Oh,
have
that is
really
made
nice
that
clothing
nice now.
again,
That's
yeah.
neat.
So,
That's good.
But we will have those coupons there. Betty said they gave her a pile, and I said, well, sure, that's
Give them
fine.
out.
We'll give them
There you
out.
go.
Anybody wants one,
Yeah.
we'll do that. And I've got a bunch of old quilting books, too, that I'm going to have on a table that was lent to me. Just lots and lots of patterns and stuff like that, if anybody cares to look through them. But,
There's going to be something for everybody.
well, that's
at
the
this
thing. I think the
show.
weekend is,
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely think pairing up with Jour de Fête was a smart idea, because
It-
I was definitely, if
you
someone
know-
gets bored, they can just walk down the street, go grab a drink at, you
Yeah.
know,
Yes.
Common Grounds, get a drink, then keep on walking.
Keep on
you know,
walking, but you
yeah.
can't bring anything in.
Right, yeah.
Right.
We'll have
But you
to-
can set it on the outside.
Yeah, we'll have to put a table or something out there for them to set their drinks on.
But, no, I think so. We were very fortunate to get it this weekend. It was the only weekend we could get it. So it was just meant to be, I guess.
Oh, you mean
Yeah.
at the bird?
Yeah, I said it was a godsend.
Yes, it was.
And it's a perfect setting.
Yeah.
It
It's
really
a setting
is.
for
Perfect
people parking,
location.
and it,
Yeah.
yeah. And
It's
so-
such a nice, beautiful facility.
Mhm.
And
Yes,
so
it
we
is.
were very fortunate to be able to
And,
work
and
with them.
directly across the street from the.
From the
art
Guild.
club.
Yeah,
Yeah. I was in there before I came here, we set it up today, or they did. Looks really nice. It's a very nice display this time. Got fibers, but we also have our paintings, like I said. Oh, excuse me. So, and your morning starts Saturday morning early, doesn't it?
Yes, it
Setting
does.
up, yeah.
Well, I start Friday from 10 to 8, or 10, no.
Oh, that's right,
2
they
to-
come in
2
Friday.
to 8, I'm putting them in spots, helping the girls put them in spots, and then we start at 5 a.m. to 8:30, that they can still come in, and we're putting them in spots.
Yeah.
And then we go down to the open ceremony and do interviews. Can I interview one of you ladies with the J98 The Boot? We'll get the radio up there, and they can do a radio ad on you guys.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay.
We will
Okay.
be there.
They're good at that.
Yes.
and they make you feel comfortable. You'll
They're
be
so
talking just like
amazing.
this.
Yeah.
We've, yeah, we've, where's this from now, Farmington? No.
Farmington.
Yeah, I think I have talked, once, but
Yeah.
no, that's fine.
Okay.
I know ours and I'll be there the whole time, most likely, won't we,
Iris, I'm putting you on the radio.
And Jean's down at her shop. And I would imagine the others might be there too. Betty will be too.
Betty will.
So, but you sure?
I think several will hang around.
I think so too.
Hopefully, because we need people to watch so they don't touch.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but yeah, just send them down, we'll be there.
Okay, good.
Not a problem.
So I know, Bella Ever After's gonna have their store open,
Mm-hmm.
and, during the honey festival, excuse me, they had stuff set up outside there. That was kinda neat.
And I think
And
Magnolia's is gonna have
Magnolia's.
stuff out
Yes,
in the
Magnolia's
street
toast
too.
there.
And
bringing it
Pat's Pastries, they've got that beer that they,
Oh, I'm super excited. They're doing like breakfast burritos in the morning, and then they're switching to like
Oh,
a
really?
German sausage. Yeah, they have all kinds of stuff to pair with their beer. They're gonna do beer tastings too.
Good job.
Her son actually brews a lot of the beer.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah, and so they're gonna have
he's got a
that for
business,
some
yeah.
tasting. So I think that's
I think it's
unique.
great that we've got so many locals that are participating.
Yes.
I'd really
yes.
like
And
to see
virtually the
that.
whole of North Main Street is going
Yes.
to be doing something.
Yes. Yes.
And I think Bricks, their wines are so good.
Yes. And their mead that
Mead,
they
yeah.
prefer, they do wonderful. And if you ever get to sit in their back courtyard,
I
it's
haven't been back there.
lovely.
It is,
It's
really.
lovely.
And they have music every once
And
in
they
a
have
while
music every
too,
once in a
yeah.
while.
Well, I
Um,
think over Judafet they're having it, aren't they?
No,
Music?
their neighbors are a little
Oh,
loud.
Oh,
Zell
really?
JC's has,
Oh, they're right
Oh,
to,
okay.
yeah, they butt up to each other, so they're a little loud, so they're gonna listen to their music, but they still have
Oh,
beautiful,
yeah.
they have beautiful flowers back there, and just really peaceful.
So is there music over at the other park? What is it?
We have Zell
Lions.
JC's,
The Lions Park.
Lions, then we have the Eagles in the back.
Now,
They
where are the Eagles now?
sometimes-
They down at Sexars again?
They're
or
on
s-
61.
No, they're on like,
They used to go to Judy and Dave's place, that's where they set up
is
at
that
one time.
across from the old fire department?
Yes.
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 Are they there
They're
again?
there again.
Yeah, okay.
And then, down at Moses Austin is the Legion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they have Little Bird Garden, and then like we have Josh Driscoll, who does all acoustic, Johnny Cash music, him and his family come. And then we have a local Vernon Fleek.
yeah.
He'll
Oh,
be
okay.
playing, and hopefully his grandson's home from college from Nashville and play with him.
Oh,
That's
my
like their duo, and they love doing that over the weekend. And then we have Wayne Gibbons.
And are the historic houses doing anything special?
They are, two of them are supposed to be doing tours, but I think it depends on the volume and their staffing. But I know like the park rangers in the Welcome Center will be doing, like explaining different things. But I'm not for sure which houses, they haven't got back to which houses are going to be open for sure. I think it
And
depends on the
also
flow.
Music, Art, and Love.
Music,
Christina
Art, and
has
Love.
some music.
God love that
Yes.
woman, she has a
She's
full
so sweet.
lineup.
Does she really?
She is ready to rock and roll, I love it.
Yeah.
She was telling me that
She's a
speakers and,
go-getter, yeah.
yes, and I
And
was
for,
like.
for anybody who doesn't know, that's at the corner of North Main and Washington.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
And she's relatively new here, and she's just always has something going on.
Yes, that's for sure, definitely. She's a definite go-getter.
and I think Sarah's Ice Cream has some.
Yeah, they always do too.
But she's got some,
Special?
with the pecans.
The
from
pecans, I saw that
yes.
in the paper
Yes.
today, yeah.
So that's kinda neat. I mean,
Her
that's
ice
kinda
cream.
nice.
She's got
really good,
sugar
yeah.
pecans? or-
Well,
It's just,
no, I think it's something to do with the honey place.
I don't.
It's not so much the honey bee thing, but it's the pecans.
It's like local pecans.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's crunch,
It's
crunch
crunched up
pecans
in
that
the
she puts
ice
on the,
Oh,
ice
on the
cream.
ice cream.
Or on the, I
Okay.
don't know if it's
Homemade
chocolate or
ice
whatever.
cream.
Yeah,
It's
homemade, so yeah.
So there's something new.
Yeah,
at
And
they
is
always
the
have-
ice cream guy gonna be here again?
Yes, the gentleman that, so he has these old antique tractor engines that he sets
Yeah,
up
I
to
know
himself.
ice cream at
And
that
it
track.
makes
Those
the
motors,
homemade
yeah.
ice cream.
Oh,
It's
he
really
makes-
Oh,
neat
really?
to
Where's
watch.
that?
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
had- So we have that on the corner at Moses Austin, so there's the
Oh.
historical building. Then we're going to have, the library, they're volunteering to come again, and they're gonna do things with like
Oh,
story
okay.
time with kids.
Oh, okay.
And then next to them, is this gentleman that has these 2 tractors that makes homemade ice cream, and he makes it right there in
How'd
front
I
of you.
miss that?
It's pretty neat, yeah.
I'm
So,
wondering, is the sound of it, the same guy that we had at the county fair? 'Cause
I don't know if it is or not.
Did he
name
go,
in that
did it go
Homemade,
click,
it was homemade
click,
ice cream.
click?
I didn't have time to listen to it.
Oh, because that got a rhythm to it.
I'll have
I
to
can't
ask him. It's
remember.
normally
I'll
him
have
and
to
his
ask him.
granddaughter.
Okay, I'll have to ask him,
So,
but that's neat.
And I think that kid, is he from Festus that does the chainsaw carving?
yes, it's him and his dad, and
Yeah, he's good.
so it's really,
He
it's,
did
that's a
have that.
neat little history thing there with the art. So it's him and his dad does the carving, and then the oldest son just started about 2 years. He does all their painting and oil staining, and it's really a neat family affair. And one of them got married, and she hand draws beautiful artwork on carvings too.
Oh,
Like,
cool.
yeah, so it's
Okay.
really, that's a really neat history to see them interact
And they're
together.
across the creek.
Yes, because of noise and chips flying, we kind of
Right,
put them over there.
That'll be
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, and they always forget about the duck races.
Oh, yes.
You know, I swear my duck drowns every year, but you know, you always gotta quack back, I'm telling you. So, but that's always fun too. Kids get a
Yes.
kick out of that.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
that was neat, whoever thought that.
yeah, whoever came up with that idea, definitely.
See those little ducks going down that
Yeah.
creek.
And pork burgers and shish kebabs,
yeah.
they're all coming back, you know, funnel cakes.
Yeah.
So can you go, from your memory, go through some of the booths that are, the offerings from the booths? So people will
Kind of know what the variety is.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. So we have Thompson's, and Thompson's makes, it's a family-run organization. They're actually out of Winsville, and they make all, like packets for dips, desserts, and
Oh.
dips,
Oh, okay.
and they make homemade soups. Their packets are really good, and they try not to put a lot of preservatives in them, so that's a nice one we have. Then if you shoot over right on the other corner, this is where Market and Main meet. They've been coming for years. Their names, they make leather, everything out of leather.
Oh,
They
yeah.
make the belts,
The
Oh,
belts,
yeah.
the cooler
yeah.
cups. Yes, they're back.
I can see some of those booths, yeah.
Yes, I'm trying to like do my memory.
Uh,
Then we have the one next to them that makes all, I feel like every year they make snowmen. That's just their thing, they make snowmen. They're back. And then down in the grassy area, one of the new ones we have is Miss Little Piggy. She's making candied bacon and beef jerky.
Oh, my
Okay.
God.
Yes, I know, I think that's a very neat art. It's her and her mom.
Yeah.
It's a mother-daughter out of St. Charles, so I think that's really cool. Then we have Crow's Candles.
Those are good candles.
Yes,
Yeah.
very good candles. It's him and his daughter running it. And then on down we have Brenda Hayden, who makes all her crocheted, I feel like different kinds of hats.
And then
And-
the towels that you put over your
Yes.
stove,
Yeah.
or when you, yeah.
And
I
then
love
her
that one.
husband Larry does the little woodworking. They're all different shapes and sizes, little knickknacks, and they're there. And then we always have like Origami Al, Scentsy, some of the non-craft vendors. We have face painting for the kids. And let's see, I'm trying to think of some of the like local, we have, like I said, a blacksmith.
Yeah.
That's, I think, very interesting what he can make. Then on the other side, coming up, we have Carrie. She does the Tupperware. She's always here, I feel like. And then we have the other, they like hand paint and do, let's see, I'm trying to think. They do like the sketch. I don't, like you're sitting here and I
Yeah.
sketch you, but I can't sketch
Oh,
you.
really? Okay.
I can't think of what their possession is.
Quick sketch?
Yes, but I'm like, I know there's something. Yeah, we have one of those, and so there's a
Oh, the
little bit-
caricatures?
Yes,
Yeah,
thank
there we
you.
go. There
So I was
we
like,
go.
I would not be good at this, but
Yeah.
we have one of those
Yeah.
lovely people that are going to do it.
What, does Felix Valley do anything? For years they did a primitive kind of
Yes,
craft. So
they're
they're
going to be doing that again.
too?
Yes, and we don't have the Wild Bird Sanctuary this year. They decided to do more. Like ever since COVID, they decided to do everything just at their facility and keep it educational, and we totally respect that. We
Yeah.
understand. We were lucky we had them for so many years.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
true. Of course, with Stormy being
Yeah,
here, that was
yeah.
probably
Yeah.
another
That was his
reason.
cup of
That
tea,
was
yes.
his, that was
For
his
sure.
place,
Yes.
yeah.
But then a lot of the shops are pulling stuff out too, which I think is wonderful.
Yeah, I'm glad they're doing that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's That's really neat.
Yeah, promote them to come in, so. And I don't think it'll be that hot, but like I said, I'm super excited. The Lutheran church is opening their doors and going to be a cooling station for us. And they'll, have snacks
They used
too.
to have,
Don't they usually have,
they
is
have
that what
stuff
you were gonna
downstairs,
say?
they have
Yes.
antiques
Yes.
Like a
downstairs.
yard
Yes.
Or
sale
yard
thing?
sale stuff.
Yard
Yeah,
sale,
yard
that's
sale
what they
stuff.
usually had down there.
And any locals listening, please don't park in, I don't want anyone driving down the middle of the craft show. So there's plenty of parking where the quilting will be, that street will be open, but you'd have to go down Washington
Right.
and around the railroad tracks, and then there'll be parking specifically for the antique mall. Please leave it for the antique mall, because they want to be able to help everybody. That's the only
Yeah.
thing there.
That was my favorite place to park back there. Not the antique mall, no, but.
I know, but I want to be fair to their new business and give them.
No,
a
but
good
it
shot.
wasn't there. I mean,
Yeah,
just
you went
back
over.
there. Yeah. There was a lot of
And I'm
parking.
excited. The militia's coming,
Yeah.
and I can't think of the house they're in, but they're gonna be doing demonstration and axe throwing
Really?
and fight. Yeah, they're all
Oh,
gun ho
my.
about it and showing how they're putting powder in the guns and
yeah.
stuff.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
super.
Deputy
Muzzle loaders.
Yes, it's on
Across
Oh,
the
I
street,
see,
the Shaw
okay.
House.
The
Shaw
Shaw
House, yes,
yeah.
the Shaw. They're doing all the demonstration there, and I'm super excited
Oh,
to
good.
have them. And it'll
They
be
actually
cool.
do an encampment there.
They were telling me that, and I
Yes.
thought that was
And-
very
And
interesting.
in the evening, it's really interesting to go and talk with the guys because they live those parts.
They do.
When they're there.
Well, I think so.
And they do some crazier stuff in the evening than they do during
Oh.
the day. And it's true, you gotta talk with them then.
yes. But it's amazing because they have no problem camping and doing everything back how they used to.
Yeah.
It's amazing to me. But yeah, they're a good group of guys. I really enjoy them.
That's neat.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
good. Now, all you out there know what Jura Fed offers.
Yes.
So you wanna go over the quilt things again?
Well,
hours.
the hours, we're gonna be at the DeBerg Center and the Art Center. They're on the square. We're open Saturday, Sunday from 10 to 5. And we will have quilts for show and just as many to buy. We've got some beautiful ones to sell.
And in the
And
art
at the Art
center.
Center as well. Go ahead,
Yes, there will
Judy.
be artwork by members of
Mhm.
the Contemporary Art Guild, and it's a range of kinds of things, but it's tied into, in many cases, the whole notion of working with fabric, creating things with fibers, and I think it's going to be a really exciting show, and it's going to
Oh,
be
yeah.
kind of different.
Yeah.
you
Oh, it
know.
is different.
And those pieces, for the most part, are also for sale.
And time, we're generally open just until 3, but I have a feeling it'll be open until 5. I could be
I
wrong.
would think so.
I don't know that.
Who's that?
The Art Center, I said, I don't know if it'll be open to 3 or 5.
Oh, probably 5.
I would think 5.
If they have people to work.
Yeah, that's true. So. That's us. And
So
then-
it's open from 10 till 6
On Saturday,
on Saturday and 10 to 4?
Or on
so
Sunday.
9 to 4.
9 to 4.
Oh,
okay.
9 to 4 on
9 to 4 on
Sunday.
Sunday.
Oh, my God. All right.
Yep.
Well, maybe we'll
Now,
have to
most of
open
the
an hour
vendors
earlier.
are, most of the vendors are in their booths early.
Yes.
In the morning where
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
the vendors can walk around and
Yes.
look at things.
Oh, yes.
And
So
it's
if you wanna
cooler
go
there,
down
too.
there a little
Oh, yeah, right.
earlier, you can
Oh, yeah.
You could probably
pop
do that.
in earlier, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And several places to get really good coffee in the morning.
Oh, my
yes.
goodness,
And
I'm
our new
super
one,
excited.
Rooted, what did I say, rooted
Rooted
coffee?
coffee.
Rooted
Rooted
coffee.
coffee.
and of
Common
course,
Ground.
Common grounds, oh,
and-
absolutely.
And all the restaurants
Oh,
that
yes.
we have.
Restaurants and.
Yeah.
And I think Sarah's Ice Cream does homemade ice cream, but I think they do cold brew coffee too.
Yes, they do.
Yes.
And she
Yeah.
even has, she has coffee. Remember, well,
Who are
and
you
it's probably
talking
been
about?
Sarah, has
Oh.
coffee for a dime? Or did they go up? It used to be a dime.
I don't
Isn't
know.
What
that
about
awful?
the
I
tea
don't know.
place? They just do tea? I mean,
Cure
they
as
do.
They
tea.
do
It's-
tea,
it's-
chef.
It's
Oh.
charming, and if
It's
anyone who
awesome.
hasn't been there, I think should stop.
Oh,
by.
Absolutely.
It's delightful.
It's right across from the old Bank of St. Genevieve.
Yes,
Bank of
from,
St. Genevieve.
from the Center for French Colonial
Yes,
Life,
yes.
which is the old Bank of St. Genevieve.
Yes,
for-
Yes,
Well, I
anyone that doesn't know,
I was
yes.
gonna say French Colonial, and I thought, oh, you know what, it's the old Bank of St. Genevieve.
That is
But-
really neat. Did you know he does tea parties in there?
We've been to
Yes.
one.
That was real,
Yeah,
He's
the tea
had the
parties
art
are
guild, we
really
did,
neat, yeah.
it was really a lot of fun.
Yeah.
He was on here one time and did
yeah.
that.
His knowledge is amazing
We
too.
really enjoyed it, it was
Yes,
fun, and, yeah,
I came here in the early 1980s, and I think the variety of kinds of things that are available in the community now, kinds of activities that are going on, we've really come a long way.
Right,
And I think that
absolutely.
the community as a whole can be very proud of its support for the really diverse kinds of
Yes,
activities and
absolutely.
businesses that have come here over the last 40 years or so.
And now that you said that, I forgot that it's not my cup of tea at all, but there is a 5K and a 1 mile fun run at the
Oh,
park
yes,
at 7
there is.
a.m. So if you are all into running, go for it. But
There
that's
you
not-
go.
But, yes, because they come up the Maxwell Hill, and I don't know how they.
Oh
do
my
it.
gosh,
how
I don't
they do
either.
that
Yes,
either.
but
Yeah.
we have quite a few applicants, so I think
Yeah.
it's awesome.
They
I
all
couldn't
do
do it as a
that.
kid, we used to ride our bikes.
And years
Yeah.
ago,
We did,
Lucretia's,
outside, absolutely.
which is where Laura's got her flower shop now, they had teas in there.
Yes.
That was really nice.
So
yeah.
many different organizations and entities and businesses are involved in Jour de Fête, and so we all thank you
Yes.
for the opportunity that the festival provides, I think, for all kinds of individual businesses and organizations and just groups of people to have a really good time for 2 days.
Yes.
Right. And if anybody hasn't been to QRST, they, also the tea, they have spices. The
Oh, yeah,
spices
they
are
do.
amazing.
Yes, they
And
are.
then they have, I got this on my mind, it's lace. Is it
Linen
linen
and
and lace?
lace
Okay,
is-
linen and lace. I wasn't
Yeah.
sure if I was saying that.
That's right.
I have
yeah.
linen and lace on my mind, but
Yeah.
anyway, they have all that in there.
And some of ours is paintings
Ours
too.
is painting.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yes,
they
and
do
my
paintings.
paintings are there.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
That's
And
right.
he has the most incredible dog.
Oh,
I
yes.
love his Cashington.
Yeah.
He's my favorite. I have a dog. I love my dog more than anything in the world, but I love Cashington.
And by the way, Iris's paintings are at QRST. People should know that throughout the town, there are merchants who are
That's true.
hosting artists. And not just on our Fourth Friday Art Walk, which is an exciting event that we'll come back and talk about some other time, but throughout the year, there are many places that are hosting artists. And I think that that's a really
Well,
nice
it
dimension.
really is, and
yes.
I need to mention one because, European Entitlement. I have, I'm not just advertising myself, they
Right.
have a wonderful shop.
Oh, sure
there.
you are.
I guess
Why not?
why not? But I do, when we're talking about paintings, I have some of my paintings in his shop,
Yeah.
and,
That's
I'm
a
sure.
neat
I
shop.
And
know
they're-
they
they
will.
And the
fit
new
perfect
coffee house
also.
has art, and
Yeah.
Common Grounds asked the
Yeah.
Art Guild to provide some
Yeah.
art for
Coffee
their
art.
space.
They were-
Now,
Coffee
is it
art.
just
Coffee art.
downstairs, or are they doing art upstairs too?
Right now it's
In there
downstairs.
It's
Cool.
decoration for the
Oh, I
place.
love that.
So there are many places in town that are supportive of the art community, and we thank them for that.
Oh, yes.
Down the
Yes.
Antique Mall has a couple art spaces down
I
there.
need to
Yes.
mention Silver Sycamore while we're mentioning.
Oh,
Yes.
yes, they have.
While we're mentioning the
Oh,
different galleries, so.
absolutely,
Did I
absolutely.
miss one?
Lovely.
You know, you start
No.
naming
You
and
start
you miss
naming
it.
them all and thinking,
Yeah.
yeah, there's so
But
much
they
good.
have
And then you
art.
always forget one. And when you
And
get home,
AS,
you're like, uh-oh.
ASL
ASL
Pewter,
Pewter.
which is
That's
unique.
That is very unique.
Oh, I
Very
love that
yes.
shop.
And I don't
I
know
hope
now
they put more of a sign out, I really do,
Yeah.
because I
Yes.
think it gets lost
Yes.
sometimes, but just sitting there watching the art go on there is amazing.
And now they're putting colored flowers on the
Yeah,
pewter,
he's
which
doing,
is
Tom is,
beautiful.
yeah, doing that, it's really nice, so, yeah, you can walk around our little town and,
It takes
Just
2
find
days
all
to
kinds
get
of
through
little things.
Oh, yeah.
all through the Jour de Fête.
Right.
Yeah,
Yep. You wanna
So,
see it.
definitely, yeah.
Well, thank you for
Thank
inviting
you
us.
for
Thank
having
You
us.
are welcome, we're
Yes.
happy you
And-
came.
Yes.
Anytime, we always are welcoming
If there's
to
anything
visitors.
that you guys have that you wanna,
well, we'll let you know.
share, yeah, see?
Yeah.
Well, ours knows.
Yeah.
Ours, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, if you just wanna come and chat sometime, it's fine too.
Yes.
Sometimes we can't have a show because we don't have
We
visitors.
don't have
or
somebody that can make it that
guests, yeah.
night, so.
Oh, my, well,
Yeah,
I
that's
guess
been
that's true.
happening more, that we've probably covered almost everybody in town. We got Rooted Coffee
Yes.
and Rural
Missions.
Mission. Maybe we ask them if they would mind coming and talking about their business.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
So
usually when a new
there-
one comes in town,
I've
we invite
often
them.
said I need to come into town and walk around to see what's new, you know, because there are a lot of new shops.
Oh,
in
Have
town.
you have you gotten Bricks or Oliver's?
Brooks has been here, Oliver's has not
No,
yet.
he hasn't.
They said they would, but
Yeah.
not
Good.
right now.
Right, we just need, and Magnolias, I've talked to them and they wanna come on, but then they wanted to wait until they had the kids part open.
That's
And now it's
exciting.
open, so,
Yeah.
you know, maybe we can get her in here one day. And, you know, all the little shops, come in and talk to us, and
Yeah.
this is a good word of mouth.
Tell
you know.
everybody what you got.
Absolutely.
Luna's
Absolutely.
came one night and they brought us all a treat.
That's good.
There you
Hint,
go.
hint, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was very
That's-
good. I like their ice cream, whatever you call
Yeah, it's,
them. When the ones with the ice
Ice
cream in
cream.
it,
Right.
not just the ice.
it's, yeah, it's
I think
crushed
they're
ice and ice cream, is
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
And
don't
all
remember
kinds
what
of
the
other
name of
stuff.
them are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
They've got
know either
different
anymore.
stuff.
They got like snow cones, but they're not, the ice isn't like snow cone ice.
And then they
It's
combine
like
it with-
shaved ice.
Yeah, it's shaved.
They're coming back to Jerdafet this year.
Are they?
Yep.
Yeah,
So that'll be another good
good.
business.
So,
All right.
Okay, well, I need
thank
to-
you ladies so much.
yes,
really
we
appreciate
appreciate
it.
it.
Thanks for inviting us.
Thank you for
And
inviting us.
everybody out there, come to the weekend. It's a full one.
Jerdafet,
Yep.
lots of fun and.
And
drinks,
also,
eats, and-
you can come to the Arts Center. On Friday, it will be open
You know,
from
there's
11 to
it is
3.
Fourth Friday.
No,
No, it's
No, it's
not.
not. No, it's not.
No,
no, it's not.
no, it's
Second.
not.
But I'll be happy to come on the show before Fourth Friday and let you know.
Okay.
Oh, well,
That's
good.
fine.
That would be good. That
Just
could be
give
our
me a
next
call
one.
and we'll
Yeah.
get you on there.
Yes.
Then we'll know you're coming and we'll have a
Right.
show.
There you go.
Yes, the Arts Center will be
It's
open.
going to be open Friday.
Friday.
I see, I didn't realize that, and I
Yeah.
should have known that. Good.
And here it
Yeah,
is,
From 11 to
almost-
3.
almost Friday. It's Thursday.
Yeah, it's
already.
almost
I
Friday
think we'll
already.
be
Yeah,
hanging quilts.
yeah, we'll be
Probably.
I think
busy.
we'll be hanging quilts.
Yes. We will for a while, yeah.
I'm afraid so.
We'll get it done. Yep.
Yeah,
But it'll be done. It'll be done.
yeah.
Okay, so
Okay.
tell everybody goodbye out there.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah.